My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Chapter 2, the sector being crew, quarters, here in the Turing test. Ooh, Mikhail Tokarev is an artist. Damn, find one of that. And also looks like either has very specific medical needs, or is a little bit of an addict. Yeah, that's morphine I saw on the bottle before I picked it up. Yeah, it shows it there. Okay. KRW. That's appearing on a lot of the equipment. Interesting. Riluzol, as is in every room. So he's the medical officer. He's also an artist. Ooh, beautiful. March 6th, 2249, the whole team experienced nausea during a large electrical surge over Europa's atmosphere. I'm concerned this was not an instance of mass hysteria. Vital signs were affected. It caused a uniform surge in heart rate that was detected in all members of the crew. I am reporting to ISA. March 7th, so a single day later. I reported the nauseous incident to the ISA. They offered an explanation of electrical disturbance to our central nervous system. That is ludicrous. An electrical surge large enough to affect our central nervous system would have done more than make the team feel ill. I am going to experiment with some shock therapy. The day later. I've discovered that electronic fields disturb our telemetry implants in a way that I didn't expect. I have contacted the ISA. Strangely, Tom was not comfortable with my attempts to disturb the implant. Interesting. The ISA have reported back, informing me that I am not to disturb the implants. They have also encouraged me not to discuss this further with the team. That is a Russian word that I do not understand, written in Cyrillic. I am continuing to investigate. 2 days later. I am running some experiments outside of Tom's view. I can tell he knows this. He has been acting differently around me, like an offended child. I'm increasingly nauseous. These implants seem to have neural connectivity. Out-of-body experiences are more frequent now. So they existed before, I imagine as a result of the drug use, rather than anything else? Otherwise, he would have already been concerned. 5 days later, I've established a definite correlation. Against my knowledge, I have implanted with a device that affects my mind. I used my opportunities in regular health checkups to investigate the crew. We all have them. Every single one of us is implanted with the same mind-altering contraption. Tom has been encouraging the team to worry about my mental health. He requested that I retire away from the crew. Misinformation. So that would be why Mikhail was very untrustworthy of Tom in the audio log that we read a few episodes ago. I cannot will myself to investigate this further. I grow tired quickly. I cannot think straight. I am not sure if the implant is affecting my thoughts anymore. I believe it is trying to subdue my mind. I think I am going to attempt an excision. I am going to remove this implant. I am typing... Ooh, God. Okay, so that's 10 days later, and then another, like, 7-ish, 8-ish? I'm typing with my left hand now. The excision went wrong. I've successfully removed the implant. Unfortunately, I lost my hand in the operation. Tom is very angry. The crew refused to talk to me. Apparently, I'm a bad influence. Sarah patched me up. I wonder if the nature of the organism and its disturbance of my DNA caused my awakening from Tom's influence. If so, that would make for a worrisome revelation. Perhaps this organism is not so friendly. Another day later, Dan informs me the ISA have called for my... Hang on! Your updates become more frequent after you remove the implant. It seems like Mikhail might have been correct here. Dan informed me the ISA have called for my termination. My masochistic experiment... No, wait, that's not the one I read. No, that's the right one. Proves I am a danger to the mission. Fortunately, he chose not to lock me in the brig. I am going to investigate this implant further. I have to hide my work. The team are becoming increasingly aggressive. They seem to oppose my work to understand the implant. It does not help that Tom is encouraging them to distrust me. I have discovered the nature of the implant. It is a complex computer. It interfaces with the human mind directly. It seems to condition the mind through Pavlovian and instrumental conditioning. Pavlovian is where you basically condition someone to act to a certain stimulus with a certain response. So the typical experiment is Pavlov's dog, where anytime you would ring a bell, the dog thought it was going to be fed. So you would feed the dog every single time you rang a bell, right? And then eventually, if you rang a bell, the dog thought it was going to be fed because it associated the two. Eliciting feelings of euphoria where the wearer is obedient and dysphoria where they are disobedient. Interesting. It also has the effect of suppressing impulses in the frontal lobe, presumably to lower free will. It seems to interface crudely with motor neuron cells through the cerebellum. It is my hypothesis that the crew is controlled by this implant. That is their strong aversion to helping me. I need a method of suppressing its impact. Perhaps a drug. Relazole? Maybe an antidepressant to minimize the conditioning effects. Combined with a strong electromagnetic field, I could use one of the industrial electromagnets from the construction robots. So that's why everyone's taking Relazole. I managed to get Chris on my side, again a day later. He has agreed to test some medical procedures with me in private. It will be more difficult one-handed, but I must persevere. I am hoping to keep this out of the eyes of Tom, though I have a feeling he will still be listening. Very interesting. Intriguing as well. I can't open that. It's just a first aid kit. I thought just because of how hidden it was, it might be a little more. So that explains a lot of this a little bit better. What did I find in the back? No, still morphine. Okay, so the morphine was for the self-experimentation. Got it. Got it. Let's move on. Nothing I can read there, Sochi. Good lord, we have a lot of reading to do. Alright, let's get down to it. Let's get down to business. Matthew Layton at ISA Terminal to Sochi U. I've never heard of Matthew yet. Dear Matthew, we've been studying organism 111. 119, God, I can't read. 119. Please find attached scanning electron microscope image, which appears to show pilus formation. The hypothesis is that this is a stress response due to the high levels of radiation. We plan to infect a human cell with organism 119 and perform radiation experiments to flow cytometry. Cyto. What is cyto again? Cyto is concerned with the surface of a cell, if I recall correctly. Would this be appropriate? It'd also be great if you could get the department to look at the SEM image. Okay. Hey Sochi, it was great to see this image. Wow, yet more complex life on Europa. Danecoccus radiurans might be worth looking at if it survives very high levels of radiation here on Earth. Similarly, you should consider looking at sulfbutose acid. Look, those names are not necessary. SA produces pili in response to radiation and uses them to transfer DNA. Perhaps your organism uses a similar mechanism? Have you considered that organism 119 is transferring or scavenging DNA as a method of surviving radiation? As you well know, in terms of radiation, Europa receives 5.4 SV per day. I used to know what that unit stood for. SV. Sievens? Over 3,000 times the level here on Earth. The organism must have evolved at high resistance to radiation and as a necessity of survival. That said, radiation beneath Thera macula is much lower due to the thick ice crust. Radiation experiments with flow cytometry sound like an appropriate course of action. Hi, here's an image confirming that organism 119 attaches to human cells. We will proceed with the radiation experiments on those cell lines. We propose naming organism 119 Europa radiophilus, which means I'm no longer going to be singing. Enjoy. What do you think? Oh, interesting. So we don't get a response to that one. Hey, Matthew, we have now run the irradiation experiments and can confirm that E. radiophilus does seem radiophily. By the way, philus or philia is like or love, right? That's why, what's a good example that isn't horrible? Hemophilia? It's like blood love? That doesn't work. And anyway, it's the Latin for like or love that's a suffix. Does seem to confer resistance to radiation. See attached. We assume survival is due to DNA damage repair. Oh, interesting. We tagged various DNA repair enzymes with GFP and found that the DNA double-strand break repair is occurring. Gosh, I can't talk. Hi, Saji. Something's amiss. We don't know what is performing the repair. The lab doesn't know how E. radiophilus, good name, can repair DNA. Have you considered that there's another organism, maybe in a symbiotic relationship, perhaps a virus? We ran a PCR on human cells exposed to E. radiophilus to see if there is virus present. We have discovered an unknown virus that we have named Unknown Europa Virus, UEV. Interesting. This is phenomenal. You need to sequence this. We've finished sequencing it. Data attached to this virus, unlike anything we've seen. Maybe we have found a cure for senescence? I don't know what senescence is. Isn't senescence aging? A form of biological immortality. Okay. We are running some long-term tests on plants to see the effects. The plants are currently exhibiting longer lifespans when exposed to the organism. We don't have the facilities to continue testing. We are going to continue human testing. We are going to use ourselves as subjects as the only way to accelerate progress. Holy fuck. Also, that's a really bad Photoshop. Oh, you were gonna propose. Oh, no, wait, it's your wife's ring, right? Because your wife died. Got it. You like puzzles, eh? This is not a valid Rubik's Cube. There are two central pieces that are green. You cannot solve this. Are there two that are blue as well? Yeah, there's two that are blue. What are you trying to fool me? You think it's my first day with a Rubik's Cube? Alright. Good lord. Okay, Sochi to Chris McLean. So what is it you found, Sochi? We found an extremophile, an organism that can only exist in extreme conditions, that survives massive doses of radiation. Radiation damages DNA. The extremophile has virus living inside it. The extremophile scavenges DNA from other organisms, and the virus uses to repair the extremophile's damaged DNA. Essentially, they work together to survive in what's a symbiotic relationship. So what's the implication? What does it do? In some ways, it is an immortal relationship. It doesn't seem to age biologically. Aging and death are ultimately caused by DNA damage. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier with the telomeres. We have the ability to fix our DNA, but that ability is limited. The organism can repair damage caused by massive doses of radiation. If we could harness this power, we could potentially eliminate biological aging, what is known as senescence. So you found something that can make humans immortal. Not exactly. There are other causes of death other than DNA damage, but it would save you from it would not save you from trauma, from brain damage, from cardiac arrest, but it could potentially cure cancers and genetic diseases and massively increase life expectancy. That's super awesome. It's worth noting this watch is still working. Can this one be solved? Nope. Two blue centerpieces. God. Oh, interesting. So we have a lot of artists in here. Motion sickness relief. Okay, so you get motion sickness, and it's a meclizine. Interesting. And you're also taking the drug from Mikhail. Good, good, good. This seems to be everything. Yep, is that everything we need? Check out the bonsai. Nothing interesting there. Characterization. Oh, I wonder if that means he's like empty inside. Since his wife died. Maybe. Who knows? But that harkens back to what we saw in here. Specifically telomeres being researched by, at this time, the Dr. Sarah Brooke. And now we get back to puzzles. Now we return to the puzzles.
These people should not have been sent here. It's not safe.
Manned space travel is not safe. Since mankind first entered space, the debate has raged over the value of manned space travel. There is a large contingent of the ISA that believes all tasks that need to be performed on Europa could be performed by machines. It is obviously less risky to send machines rather than humans into space.
Okay, so that's a very Portal mechanic right there. And another very Portal mechanic would be to sit this here and get ready to take the ground out from under it. Got him. Got him.
We sent drones to Earth's moon. Scientists can remotely operate drones. If we did it there, why not here too?
Teleoperation became possible on the moon when the communication latency was reduced to 1.4 seconds. The distance between the Earth and Earth's moon is approximately 1.3 light seconds. This enables near real-time control of drones by scientists. The story is different with Europa. As the distance between Earth and Jupiter oscillates between approximately 32 and 53 light minutes, it takes a very long time for Earth to communicate with Europa. Due to that distance, teleoperation will never be possible on Europa.
Okay, but why not control drones from the satellite?
Why not indeed? My systems can be teleoperated from Europa's satellite. That is when the communication lines are open. However, the advantages of human field workers apparently outweigh the risks.
Huh. Apparently. Uh-huh. Alright. Send you to the top. Got him. Okay, so this is just telling me that I can move platforms like that. Interesting.
So, why can't you solve these tests, Tom?
I am not permitted to think laterally. Parts of my systems are permitted to use evolutionary algorithms. This simulates what is called creativity. However, evolutionary algorithms can converge on inefficient and ethically suboptimal solutions. Since this is the case, I am only permitted to take actions in response to a set of constraints.
What do you mean by morally suboptimal?
Solutions to problems that transgress ethical boundaries.
Hang on. What I need here is the box to... Shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! I didn't screw that up. You screwed that up. Okay. Box goes on that one. Wait, what? Does it? The box goes in there so that I can take... How did I screw that up? How did I do this? You go there. You go there, because I'm going to need to take that later. I have to imagine. Oh yeah, look, I have to take it immediately. Good work, Ryan. Oh, fuck, I need two at the top. Hang on, how am I going to get two up here? Oh, never mind. Found it. Oh, I know. I know. I'm picking up what you're putting down, video game. This is what we do. Now we take the box with us. Right? 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 Because now we can get a bunch of charges. We can take this one. Then we can also take this one. We can end up with 3 full charges. Shut up. I didn't screw that up. You screwed that up. Look, I'm just not good at existing. So, that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. Beautiful. C24. Usually it's somewhere around the center that we get our extra.
Why does a lack of creativity stop you solving these tests?
Well, I contend that problem solving is creativity. These human interaction tests are exercising your creative mind.
I don't see how problem solving is creative.
Really?
Think back to the beginning of these tests, to the first puzzle you solved. It required you to throw a box through a window. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think so.
I simply had never thought to throw a box through a window. That is creativity, thinking outside of the box.
It simply never occurred to me. Box? Window? What? Shenanigans, I say. I love it.
Can a computer ever be creative?
They can. But a computer's method of creativity is to try everything until something works. Think of nature. People consider nature creative. The process of evolution by natural selection. It perhaps started with one organism. From there, it essentially tried to create every organism it could. Those organisms that did not survive perished. So, nature's creative force is to try every conceivable idea. Those ideas that work survive.
Okay, so why aren't you permitted to emulate that process?
Because the solutions that a biological process creates are not always good solutions. As we see, nature is morally ambivalent. It will happily create morally suboptimal ideas to fulfill its creative mandate. We see this in parasitic worms, viruses, and pathogens.
His logic is unassailable right now, I have to admit. Okay. Got that all the way to the end, and looks like I'm only going to need the 2. Beautiful. What? Is that... Oh, right, obviously. I was like, hang on, I need to use this one, don't I? Nope. Alright, and as we're standing here in the intersection between 2 different chambers, I'm gonna end the episode. My name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been the Turing test. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. There is a playlist in the description down below with all of my content on this video game, past, present, and future. And hopefully we'll see you next time.